Are you not losing any hope about the possibility of achieving peace with the communists? Because they have not really shown any sign of goodwill na talagang seryoso sila na magtamo ng kapayapaan. And I think our local communists are adhering to the Marxist philosophy of that all systems are rotten and must be destroyed so that they can take over. So if this is their line of thinking, why should we pursue peace and not just go on applying the law against lawbreakers? Because we can consider them lawbreakers if they continue to sow violence, and then just open the door for reconciliation to those who would like to return to the folds of the normal society.
I wish it is as simple as that. I wish. Yung peace negotiation with the Communist Party it has four main agenda items. One, the agreement on human rights and humanitarian law, which was signed already before, many years before. The second item is on a very important point, CASER, which is Comprehensive Agreement on Social and Economic Reforms. Ito yung parang hinugutan talaga ng CPP-NPA ng kanilang advocacy. And then the third will be constitutional and political reforms, which we are now addressing without even getting any consensus. We're moving now by the President's directive to take a look at the Constitution and do constitutional reforms. And lastly would be the end of hostilities and cessation of end of hostilities and disposition of forces, which is the so-called disarmament or the decommissioning. Tapos na yung Karel. Before the talks were cancelled last time, tapos na may headway na doon sa CASER. Pero hindi na realize yun na na-cancel ang talks. Dahil nga, tumitira pa rin sila. In the back channel, I'd like to tell you that there is already swift movement there. Ibig sabihin, they are now, the leadership at least, they are now as interested as we are to move it forward. Ang constitutional reforms naman, given na yan eh. We are now looking into constitutional reforms. Ang importante yung cessation of hostilities and disposition, the disarmament that will take place after. Ang problema sa bayan natin, ang daming baril na sa kamay ng private sector, na hindi sa gobyerno. And you know that very well. But why is it that people take guns in their possession? Because the environment is not yet very conducive to being unarmed. Everyone would like to take care of his security. And if someone out there is illegally possessing firearms, why should I make myself a victim there by not also getting a firearm myself? So, yung environment has still also to be addressed. In our work with the MILF na, going to Congress na yung batas na gagawin, you'll be surprised. They had already agreed to a decommissioning process. They have already turned over about 140 firearms quietly to decommission. And these are the cruiser weapons, malalaki, ng mga firearms. And at certain milestones in the approval of the BBL, there will be more firearms. That means there's a willingness on their part now. But they don't want to totally disarm kaagad. Dahil nga the environment, may mga breakaway groups eh. Bagsot yung DIFF, the Abu Sayyaf, and all. So, unfortunately, that is the situation where we're in the Philippines. The proliferation of many firearms in the hands of private persons and not authorized by government. Hopefully, sana we can move step by step again. But it's a long process. But let's not give up. One step forward is good enough to lead to another step slowly. Like